A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Salam alaikum, saidati wa sardati. Good evening. Salut, bonsoir. I'm sorry about the slightly late start. We were about to start and then the call to prayer started, and it seemed appropriate to wait for the end of the call to prayer. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here at the Abu Dhabi International Book Fair Poetry Gala this Sunday night. Without further ado, I'm going to invite our poets up to the stage. Each of them will perform for you for about 10 minutes or so. And there is a tradition, I know, in poetry salons here in the Emirates that if you like what they're performing while they're performing it, I know that I've seen big Arabic Emirati audiences perform in front of Emirati poets going yalla while the poet is talking. Feel free to engage with the poets while they're going on. So without further ado, would you please give a huge welcome to our 5 poets who are Mr. Ben Okri, Zaina Hashem Beck, Frank Dallahan, Dr. Talal Al-Junaibi, and Miss Afra Atiq. Wherever you fancy. I was invited here as a poet as much as a moderator, but because we have award-winning, prize-winning poets, I'm just going to do one short poem, which is more of a breathing exercise for you guys, because it's a call and response poem. And I performed it some years ago here in the Emirates. Its theme is tolerance. And I've chosen it today because this is the year of tolerance here in Abu Dhabi and I think in the Emirates. And with all that's going on in the world in terms of conflicts and untruths and false news, I thought it appropriate. So think of this not so much as a poem, because these are the true poets. This is a call to prayer for hope and for tolerance. It's called Reach Out. And when I point at you, all you need to do is to say the words, reach out. It's quite quick. You happy to do that? So if I point at you, you say, I'm liking you guys already. Though you may not like their point of view, though you may not like the things they do, though you may not like what they believe, though you may not share a common creed, though you may not like the clothes they wear, though you may have different skin or hair, though you may be rich, though you may be poor, though you may be whole, they may be sore, reach out. Though they have naught while you have all, though as you climb you see them fall, though they may be gay or bi or straight, though they may love all that you hate, though they may be clean while you are not, though you may have what they have not, though arrogant and harsh and rude, though you think that they look down on you, reach out. Though they are them, we are us. Though they drive cars, we ride the bus. Though they may snatch while you just take, embrace their crimes as your mistake. Offer up your willing hand. Reach out. Embrace your fellow man. Thank you. Ben Okri, as you know, is one of the world's most prominent writers. Best known for his Booker Prize-winning novel, The Famished Road, he's the youngest ever winner of the Booker Prize. For his contributions to literature, he's received honorary doctorates from the UK's University of Westminster, of Essex, of Exeter, of the School of Oriental and African Studies, and of Bedfordshire, as well as Belgium's Universiteit voor het Algemene Belang. He was appointed an officer of the most excellent order of the British Empire. He has the most earth-shattering, beautiful novel just released recently, which we spoke about yesterday. Would you please give a huge welcome to Ben Okri, OBE.
Thank you all very much. It's a special pleasure to be here. I am going to read a couple of poems. I'm aware that we've got to be careful with time. But I want to say a really big thank you to Isabel and to Paul for his constant friendship, Isabel for her trust and invitation. The first poem I'm going to read is a poem called Begin with a Leap. It was created during a collaboration with two other painters. I sometimes paint myself, and while we're collaborating, this poem just came out. Begin with a leap. Someone said, begin with a leap. And so I leapt over the great sleep with a heavy stone in my head. But I was light as a song or an African bird, one you might see in the safari of dreams. So when I leapt over, where did I land? These are questions for the sand. It turns out the giant sleep is a great wall that's made of inverted flowers or songs that are sung inside out, if you know what I mean. When they wring you dry with pain and life and death, when they break your legs with blades and with feathers, when they squeeze the mystery out of you, all that's left is that stone, heavy as the earth. Then they ask you to leap over your own death without much hope. And how do you do that? In the sea or on land, without drowning, without singing your protest in a sound? These are questions for the sand. But my hour grew near. The things I made were full of fear. The flames and the birds were all I could hear. And as the night came on with pollen settling on the glass ceiling, and darkness grew from all the lonely songs in millions of lonely places, and as the wings of death surrounded this ledge where we stood before the great abyss, that's when someone said, begin with a leap. And like a lioness, like a piercing trumpet note, like the first color of dawn, or like the brilliant tail feathers of a love-struck peacock, or even like a shy kiss that starts a fire, a touch that makes a generation, or like rain that covers the dry fields with the music of the oracle, I leapt right over the great sleep with a magnet in my heart. Thank you, thank you. The next poem I'm going to read is a kind of very personal poem. I wrote it during a really low point in my life. And I kind of wrote this poem as a way of just touching that low point, touching that earth, being comfortable with it, and if possible, growing from it. So this is like a bedrock poem for me. It's called More Fishes and Stars. A good friend of mine called Harper Simon has made it into a song. If you get a chance to go look up a song called Wishes and Stars, and it was made from this poem. More fishes than stars. Everyone seems so certain, and everyone knows who they are. Everyone's got a mother and a father. Everyone knows where they're going and seems so sure they're going far. Everyone's got more friends than they can use, and they don't see how too much can confuse, except me, because I'm a fool. I'm simple as a bee, but it doesn't matter. There are more fishes than stars. There are more fishes. Everyone seems so sure of themselves, and everyone is brimming with success. Everyone seems to know money will bring them the real happiness. Everyone's just been on holiday in the sun or are just coming back from one. They seem to have so much fun. Everyone's with the latest thing. They don't seem to feel life's hidden sting, except me, because I'm a fool. I don't use everyone like a tool. I'm simple as a melody in C, but it doesn't matter. There are more wishes than stars. There are more wishes. I'm not too certain about many things, and I'm not too sure who I am. I ain't got no mother and no father. I'm slow like the trees when they grow. I'm sluggish like the ocean when it moves. And I love all things with a secret glow. I'm plain like water or like rain, and I think it's unlucky to complain. I'm easy like a fish that's free, or like that melody in C. But it doesn't matter. There are more fishes than stars. There are more fishes. I'm not chasing success. I'd like to transcend happiness. I'm not sure if money is the meaning of life or whether it conquers all strife. I ain't been on holiday for some time, and I don't think that's such a crime. I sit still like an oak tree on a hill, open to the all, like a window in a wall. But it doesn't matter, because I get to go to the source of the sea, where the mother of all things looks after me. There are more fishes than stars, more wishes than stars. Thank you. Paul, how am I doing for time?
You're good. Another one.
One or two more poems?
Let's see how long the next one is.
I need to know because it depends on that.
Two.
Two, okay. This is a love poem called Slept Badly. Slept quite badly. Worked all morning. Loved the view from your window. Jewels scattered in the night. Want to see the view from your heart. Magic connections will abound. A high force set in motion, in spite of what you think. High force set in motion, connecting above and below. Above in the unseen, below in the unknown. I drift in and out of your essence, reading the runes of your soul. Different inside from outside, learning a new language of your faraway breathing. Destiny changing with those secret lines running through all the webs far beyond the sphere of time, where the ones who see beyond our realm see when the true genesis of touch will bear astounding fruit. Oh, only how to be ready when the dove hovers over the unwilling mind must you yield up the millennial idea of sacrifice. They know that there is no such thing as sacrifice where there is love, just a giving and an altar offering without a name and without a measure. Who can measure the view from your heart? I sit at its window, and the enigma of the twilight city makes sense to me as the movement of the sea does over the face, as the movement of the wind does over the face of the sea. Watch the links multiplying till a flower is formed. Can you give birth to a flower? Can you give birth to the new self forming from the enigma, a clear form, mysterious to behold, beautiful as the dawn over those mountains? What is magic? To touch and give birth to worlds, to dream and for the real to be in doubt, to love and become calm so that all becomes clear like the evanescent form of an angel. Slept pretty badly, worked all morning. All I have is a certain gaze of yours and the way when leaving you take all of you with you and me at the window dreaming. I want to see the view from your heart.
Bravo.
Thank you. Last poem, certainly not the least, it's a short one, and it's called Revolution. They live as if everything is settled in the world, but nothing is settled. Nothing, not our dreams, not our fears, nor the boundary between things. The land is not settled, nor the realm of sleep, nor the deep mines where our fathers weep. nor the deep wells where our mothers call out our names, when in the world of sharks and guns, we wonder where the leaves caress the red wind. Those fences of steel rising high beyond the clouds never kept out the eyes of hunger that wanders the world like thunder. Those armed guards with iron teeth and stony eyes that devour the poor with a cold gaze, those invisible hovels and those tower blocks, those men who live on dust and sleep and stones, their bodies turning gray with the night rains and the rust, those mothers with their teeth falling out from mercury in their food, those children whose lungs will not carry them through the streets of the lidless city, what do they know of boundaries? What do they know of the gods of the street and the gods of hunger? Nothing is settled, not our place in the world or our place among the dead. The rich have not locked up all the dreams or the hopes of the power that grows in rage. A generation lives on dust and debris and are pale as ghosts, but the god of hunger powers their bodies with the secret electricity that drives galaxies and the entropy that swings abundance into a potent emptiness. On the edge of cities, they swell and grow. Their only education is the text of truth, which the world delivers every day without humor. Nothing is settled. Those who think they will inherit the earth because they have mortgaged the sun will find on the eve of their usurpation that the grim horsemen are in the horizon. The earth shifts and howls. The sands have turned into people. The graves speak lucid prophecies. There is nothing to inherit because nothing is settled except the thunder after sleep. Bless you all. Thank you very much.
Bravo, Ben. Bravo, Ben. Thank you very much indeed. Our next performer is a Lebanese poet whose most recent collection, Louder Than Hearts, won the 2016 Maysart New Hampshire Poetry Prize. She's the author of 2 chapbooks, 3 Arabi Song, winner of the 2016 Rattle Chapbook Prize, and Then There Was, and How Much There Was, published in 2016. As a laureate's choice, selected by Britain's poet laureate Carol Ann Duffy, Beck's first collection, To Live in Autumn, won the Backwaters Prize, and her work has appeared in publications ranging from Ploughshares, Poetry, Poetry Northwest, Ambit, and the Rialto. She is, of course, Zaina Hasham Beck. Thank you, Zaina.
I don't think I need this. Do I need this? Because
You
I'm
can do
wearing this.
whichever you wish. The choice is yours.
You guys can hear me? Yeah? Loud and clear? Okay. Okay. So, first of all, thank you for coming here on, what are we? What day of the week are we today?
Sunday.
Sunday afternoon to listen to poetry. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Alex, who's here somewhere. I'll read 3 poems. The 3 of them are, I feel, part elegy, part ode. This one is in the voice of a Syrian singer called Samira Tawfiq. It's a ghazal. There's an Arabic word in there, tibr. It means gold. This is ghazal. Samira Tawfiq sings a love poem. I count the stars and place them in my hand, my heart. They're odd, they're even. They say nothing will go as we planned, my heart. Spare me this city made of Tibr. I will desert this castle, go back to that house of poetry and sand, my heart. All day I pretend to collect water for a glimpse of his dark skin. The bridges almost break. They can't withstand my heart. I was a little girl who sang in a tree. Now, before the afternoon and after sunset and between the two, people listen for my chant, my heart. My smile lies and tells the truth. The audience loves my glitter, my kuhl, my shoulder pads, the mole on my left cheek, my wink, and my heart. The young artists sing my songs, that's fine. But they should ask first. After all, I've never been afraid of love, never banned my heart. My stage name, Tawfiq, means success. But I don't want to sing anymore. I'm sad for Lebanon, Syria, the land, my heart.
Yallah.
This is for my uncle. It's called Ode to the Afternoon. You guys can hear me? Because this keeps wobbling. Okay, good. My friend tells me she's been running in the cemetery in the afternoon. She calls it just a garden, really. First, I am afraid, and then I am afraid. Everything is cemetery and garden. My late uncle's flower shop, my daughter learning to fold a paper into a boat, sea salt, marriage, dawn, old French music, this vertical line digging deeper into my forehead every morning, that bicycle in the city tied to a street post with flowers and a note to the girl who rode it. When I was a little girl, I wanted to bury the afternoon. When longing was long and my parents slept and slept, I stood in the corridor and repeated, ay, 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 until I flickered in and out of myself. Some days I even threatened to fling my body from the balcony until my brother, with such calm, looked at me, dangling from the railing, my head thrown back, and explained, you don't own your soul. It belongs to God, only He can decide. I stood in the corridor, I stood on the balcony, I stood in the desolate afternoon and repeated, because what is repetition, if not a question? The way mom, every day with her hairdryer, with her grocery list, with her buying this shawl and that, is asking, what have I done? What have I done? The book says, we will see clearly. When the drunkenness of death falls upon us, my uncle saw a man and a woman standing by his hospital window and asked his wife who they were. My father, with his prayer beads, with his cigarette, gestured to the driver taking my uncle to his grave to circle back and pass by his flower shop. My father, with his few words, said one last time, so he, by he, my father meant both his brother and himself. My uncle taught me to sing, que sera, sera. He said, say it. What will be, will be. I still dread the afternoon, and I still ask, will I be pretty? Will I be missed? And I still haven't been to his grave, but have driven past his flower shop again and again and again. The way on the night he died, I drove beneath bridges and saw him on each one and waved.
Wow.
I usually write in English, though Arabic is my mother tongue. And so recently I've been coming back to Arabic. One way of coming back to Arabic has been inventing a form called the duet. The idea of the duet is that it's a bilingual poem on the page. If you only know Arabic, there's an Arabic poem on the page. If you only know English, there's an English poem on the page. And if you know both, then there's a conversation between the two languages and they don't always agree. Hopefully a third poem and dimension opens up. And so I want to ask if that's possible for the translators. Thank you very much, translators. Big round of applause for the translators, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
To not translate, because this is meant to be experienced as it is. If you don't get the Arabic, that's fine. If you don't get the English, that's fine. All right? This is an ode elegy for the Mediterranean Sea, particularly in Beirut. It's called Blue Azraq. نرى البحر ولا نراه إلا في المنام. A patch, a glimpse among the antennas, أو من بين الشرطان على الأسطح. How to brave this blue. لا بحر لنا هنا ولا قوة. Sometimes I forget the sea is this close. لنا حب قديم يريد أن يحفر لك في الإسمنت شاطئاً. My love, I want to dig a beach for you out of this cement. لنا مطر محمل تارة بعطش الأرض وتارة بعفن الشارع. Oh, old faith and new. Oh, time of wells and time of satellite dishes. لنا الحر والرقص على ظهور المباني. قد نرى بقعة بحر من هناك. Are the fish still edible? Our nets are full of plastic and trash. لنا كأس تجري فينا كنبع صغير ننسج فيه سماء وغروبا ونجوما وتراتيلا. My parents threw me in the sea when I was 2 and I floated. They called me little fish. My parents trusted the sea more. إلهنا الأزرق لم نعد نعبده وما زلنا نحبه. O blue God, we no longer worship but still love. لما لا نتذكر البحر إلا عندما تموت العصافير على الشرفات. Over breakfast, I had to convince a friend Beirut was still on the Mediterranean. لمن ندون أحلامنا كل صباح. Are you sure? He asked. Is it a deep, bluest blue? ما أجمل الموت بلا ضرائح. Yes, I said. No, I said. ارفعني على كتفيك قبل أن نحرق المدينة. Lift me on your shoulders. Roll in the tires. Light them up. Oh, city, we no longer love, but still worship. لقد أقسمنا أن نقلع عن عبادة هذه المدينة.
Yallah. Thank you, Zaina. Beautiful.
Good job.
Frank Dullahan is an Irish writer who lives and works in Dubai and whose poetry has been widely published in international literary journals. He's written 4 collections: On the Back of the Wind, Enough Light to See the Dark, The Same Roads Back, and Lifting the Latch. And in 2014, he was commissioned to provide the final English translation for the poems of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is the Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. More recently, he's been playing in The Great Gatsby on the QE2. Would you please welcome Frank Dullahan?
The heart's high cliff. I stand beyond a silent curve of cars beside my sister. Leaves shine clean after rain, the grass wet jeweled about us. She holds my arm. Her boy lies in a box at our feet, spun from the corner of a road, his buckled bicycle, flung from the heart's high cliff, a breadth's slim ledge. Her weight suddenly on me as they lower him down, her eyes as if some inner eyelid shut. This next poem is also a poem of loss. It's from my first collection. It's called Everything. Now everything has gone. The moon with its cold music, the slow white of the snow, the small turning of the leaf in the dark, the gate closing in on itself, the dustbin with its fat laugh, the buzz of the last van in the distance, you. There are books on the table, all the pages torn. The words have burned through the covers and smolder on the floor. Now everything has gone. The trees with their tattered leaves, the birds with their crooked smiles, the sky that sat at the top of the steps, the coin in the gutter, the bicycle leaning on its shadow, the horizon's accident in the distance, you. See how the water calls. There is such room under the waves. You could go down into it like the sun and never be cold again. Now everything has gone. The wall with its vertical pane, the little hooks of the wind, the rustle of children in the park, the dark, the road's irresistible urge to travel, the creak of the stars as they shift their geometry, the galaxy, you. This is a poem, I suppose it's a poem about my mother and father. It's called Snow Falling After Dark. It was too late to be young when she cycled home from that day's work to a house gone dark with illness. Her mother and father, neither knowing that the other was dying. She stayed at home, tended them, one upstairs, one down. Her brothers came in for their meals, crowded the table with noise. She had no time to remember the few boys she had kissed. Daddy, she'd say, lifting the weight of that name in the bed. She was not recognized by her mother, who'd gone decades young in her head. But still, she got up to the sound of the milk cart in the street, put breakfast out, and tried to forget the hand she had held at the dances when her life was a road over hills, not curtained small into rooms. They died within days of each other. There was nothing frivolous about the man that she found, 6 years older than herself, as lost to the world as she was. But love arrived like snow falling after dark, so that the days they entered were bright and clean, a beginning. This next poem is from my most recent collection. And I suppose a poem is trying to answer that question of what does poetry do? How good is poetry? What can it solve? And the truth is, poetry seldom solves anything, but it can give comfort. It can be a voice. And so this poem tries to deal with that, and it's called Let the Mountains Hold On, and it's got a formal shape to it. Come whisper your poem in the dark, late air. I'll hold the phone close. I'll close soft the door. I'll listen minutely. I'll say if it's fine. Your voice is a cure. Your voice is the rain. Let the mountains hold on to their silence. People gather at borders, their families in ruins. The dead go on living. The living lie down. Nothing gets fixed. The soiled, the maimed. But your voice is a balm. So I step out of time. Let the mountains hold on to their silence. everything slipping. The ice fields flow. Power is the answer we've learned and we know. Greed is the agent that never gets turned. I enter your voice. My cover is blown. Let the mountains hold on to their silence. I have nothing to say that's not been said before. Your poem is a song. I'm learning the score. The fuse has been lit, a wing and a prayer. I'm caught up in your song. Oh, take your voice lower. Let the mountains hold on to their silence. The children grow up with hate in the food. Their mothers spoon feed them. What's bad becomes good. They are waiting to kill. Their God is their fuel. But your poem is the only flag I'll unfurl. Let the mountains hold on to their silence. I'll finish with a lighter poem because those ones were very dark. And there's a poem that was written, it's about some of the early years of my marriage. And my wife's here, so this is for her, and it's called Telling Stories. And it's true. You invited a teaching colleague and her husband over. We were young, learning to entertain. We didn't know them well. I had my instructions. When to pour the wine, not to hog the conversation. After dinner, we left the cooling coffee cups, the plate of untouched chocolate mints. I loosened myself into a sofa chair, a second bottle of red darkening our glasses. They took a formal pose on the settee, knees together, hands in laps. I suppose they were learning too. He may have had his own instructions, but you were softened by the wine and went with habit. Sitting on the floor between my legs, head on my knee, we drank and told stories, trying to coax some informality, some touch point with them. We bantered with each other. We were highly physical in those days, spending our time together on judo mats or in karate halls. So I expressed my disagreement with something you said by sliding a friendly choke around your throat. You countered, not by breaking it as I expected. It was loosely on, but by reaching back and grabbing me, where I'd brought my head softly to your shoulder, and rising slightly, pitched me out of the chair, going over even in the lays of wine. I knew your move was technically superb, and not to be outdone in front of guests. I twisted in midair to hook a leg, then swiveled to apply an arm lock, gain submission. We were high in the delirium of our entanglement before we registered our guests. Heels up on the settee, faces blanched. We did explain what normal was for us, that we were trained this sport. But they remembered that our babysitter couldn't stay too late. It is agreed we finished up the wine, the chocolate mints, but not whose fault it was, nor who had won. Thank you. Shukran.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank, not least for managing to win the audience over despite the tinny tannoy flamenco that seems to be polluting us. Talal Al-Junaibi is an Emirati poet, an academic, and a member of the Emirates Writers' Union. He's received dozens of awards and honors, including the Khalifa Al Farq UAE President's Honors Award, the Abu Dhabi Award for Cultural and Community Achievement in 2015, and the Secretariat General of the Gulf Cooperation Council's Shield of Poetry Excellence Award. His published works include the poetry collections On the Banks of Revelation, A Restraint Moment, and Emirates in the Heart. And his poetry is known for its innovative voice signature. Would you please give an enormous welcome to Dr. Talal Al-Junabi. Dr. Talal. Thank you. Shukran.
مساء الخير. Good evening everybody. هذا الصباح تم إبلاغي من إدارة معرض أبو ظبي الدولي للكتاب. I was informed this morning from the management of Abu Dhabi Book Fair that one of my poems, which called Tolerance, المعنونة التسامح, حصلت على المركز الأول في مسابقة فنان وشاعر. This morning, one artist called Catherine Donaldson have won the first prize in the competition for professional artists in this exhibition. And each artist select one poem, and they write one artwork. And Mrs. Catherine Donaldson, who selected my poem, have won the first prize. So I will start with that poem who won the first prize on this exhibition.
Yalla.
And it's called Tolerance. تسامح. I'll just read part of it. توضأ بالمحبة والتسامح. توضأ بالمحبة والتسامح وبالإحسان قابلنا وصافح. جمال المرء يزهو بالتآخي فكن للخير عبر الخير طامح. وكن للكون عنوان التلاقي فبالأخلاق ترتسم الملامح. وداد الخلق مفتاح عجيب. وداد الخلق مفتاح عجيب فعش نبلا تكن للقلب فاتح. مساء الخير. سأبدأ بالإمارات في القلب. Emirates is in the heart, and that's actually the title of one of my books, and it's one of my poems as well. الإمارات في القلب. أحن إليك يأسرني هواك فيملكني حنين كم شكاك ليرسل لي نشيدا كم تغنى به الوجدان شوقا في جواك إمارات العلا والشوق دوما يخالجني حنين أن أراك. يمازجني فداك الروح طيف به الأشجان تجنح في سناك. يمازجني اشتياق بات يسري كغيم ساح في مسرى سماك إماراتي. وسبع الحسن فيك مزيج طاب فاستحلى جناك إماراتي. لكم لاحمت شعبا عزيزا صاغ تكوينا حواك لعمري قد قدوت القلب فيك. شرايين الحياة بها دماك فسيري صبغة الرحمن تضفي عليك الخير والتقوى. جزاك أبو ظبي شموخ العز فيك. فمن يقوى على فرقى رباك ومن يقوى على نسيا دبي إذا يوما أيا حسنا. أتاك فشارقة بك الإنعام يغدو ويشهد كل من يوما رآك. فراس خيمة جبت الثريا ورب الكون تاريخا حباك. ويا أم القوين نثرت عبقا أصاب النفس فاستجدت نداك. فعجمان بك الأشواق تترى فيا عجمان ذا قلبي فهاك. ويا أرض الفجيرة فاعذريني فوجدي اليوم قد أضحى فداك. فهذه السبع أرسلها حنينا من الوجدان يعمره هواك. بشوق الشوق بشوق الشوق أنسجه نشيدا عزيزا عز أن يهوى سواك. شكرا.
يلا.
قليل من المشاغبة. أشاغبني شاغبني أشاغبني أناديني فيستمع الجواب، أراقبني ليقرأني الخطاب، أشاغلني لتحملني ظنوني، أغادرني ليرجعني السحاب، أشاغبني فتشتعل الأماني، أخامرني ليرتعش الصواب، أخاطبني بصمت عبقري، ألازمني ليتركني الذهاب، أناشدني فأرفضني لأني أناشدني فأرفضني لأني أناقشني، ليشرحني الكتاب، فأكتبني ولا أنجو بحرف يؤولني، ليرتبك الصواب، أكابدني لأحملني لدار بلا أرض يراودها السراب، أعانقني لأشعرني بدفئي، أصاحبني ليعشقني الإياب. شكرا.
واو. Wow.
How long we still have?
2 minutes.
Just 2 minutes? Oh my God. خلاص, I'll cancel 2 poems. Just,
No.
I'll end up with
Okay, do 2
one.
poems.
Huh?
Please, Talal, come
Okay. I'll just go with my style, which is توقيع صوتي. I have a different style. لي أسلوب خاص في الإلقاء اسمه توقيع صوتي، ليس بغناء ولا إنشاد ولكن توقيع صوتي. فمن قصائدي المشهورة بالتوقيع الصوتي هي لغة الصمت. أجمل لغة للحديث الصمت. The best language of talking is silence. يغشاني الصمت إذا انطلقت في الكون حمائم أشجاني، يغشاني الصمت إذا انطلقت في الكون حمائم أشجاني، ومضت تختال على فنن ربضت في موطن أفناني، فكأن الحسن يسامرني فيذوب الحزن بوجداني، وكأن الليل يراقبني ليداعب أسرار كياني، وكأني في الكون حنين يجتاح القاصي والداني، ينساب على وجه الدنيا لينير الكون بألواني، وكأني أنشودة صدق جذاب مشتاق حاني تتغلغل في داخل روحي لترابط دوما بكياني، يغشاني الصمت إذا انطلقت في الكون حمائم أشجاني. شكرا.
Shukran. Talal, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Our final poet is an award-winning Emirati poet who's been featured across the globe and has held workshops with untitled chapters giving back to the community. She's been published in the International Journal of Humanities and Social Science Research, conducted social research involving literature and education. She's been featured in schools, universities, including the NYUAD Arts Centre, as well as the TEDx Fujairah. She's won multiple poetry slams, in addition to the 2017 ADMAF Creativity Award. She is the first spoken word poet to have won this award. I was here very early in her career and was able to announce her as the first ever female Emirati spoken word poet. She's now something of a superstar. She only performs if I do a certain thing, hence my call and response earlier on, which is I say Afra, you say Afra. Afra, Atiq, Afra, Atiq. Please give a huge welcome to Afra Atiq.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. I'm normally really loud, so I'm always cautious when I use microphones. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to do 3 poems, one of which I haven't done in a while, so I'm happy to kind of resurrect it. I don't do it because it normally makes me cry, but very recently I went to a school and one of the students told me that he saw this poem on YouTube and that if I can get through what I got through, then he can get through what he's going through. So I thought it was time to bring back the poem. So what Paul didn't tell you is that if you hear something you like, to snap. That's the part where you snap. Okay. Yes, so this is a poem called A Good Punch, and I have to thank Noura, who's sitting here actually, because we had a conversation yesterday, and she said, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. So with that in mind, just a quick show of hands before I start. How many of you have ever felt like you were different, or you were not where you were supposed to be, or you've been told that you should be a certain way? And okay, so this is about that. I haven't made a secret over the fact that I was bullied once upon a time, so this is a poem about that. Ready? Let's try this again. Ready?
Yes.
Bismillah. You think you're so funny. Think everything you say is a clown and trampoline birthday party words like knock knock jokes knocked down with punchlines like half-breed, hybrid, unholy, incomplete. I've spent my whole life trying to figure out what complete is because it seems that nationalities come with conditions and I clearly didn't get that memo, like you need to pay a fee of admission, and I clearly didn't attend that meeting. Biologically, my mother is Japanese. She's also American. Her mother's came from Sweden. Her adoptive father is Osage, Native American chief of chiefs of the tribe in Oklahoma. We have sushi on New Year's Day in my house. My father is Emirati. Spends his life giving back to his country, teacher who taught this generation of leaders, son of a pearl diver descended from greatness, son to a mother who had a heart so big anything and everything I could possibly wish for could fit inside of it. In school they called me Bint al-Ajnabiyya, foreigner's daughter. My eyes were more slanted than theirs. My accent was different than theirs. My skin doesn't know what color it is. My eyes don't see colors anyways. Our veins all pump the same blood in our hearts. All thump the same thump for chambers. And you still can't find room for some acceptance in college. I went 4 semesters before the girls stopped calling me Jessica bint Atij. They refused to call me by my real name, the name my mother had so carefully picked out for me, the name that was so traditional. Doctors in the hospital wondered where she heard it from. She says, she saw my face and decided that I looked like Afra. I'm not sorry. My name doesn't sound as foreign as you think I look. I'm not sorry for who I am when you tell me to go sit in the corner of the cafeteria. Tell me to look outside because the boat is probably waiting to take me back to wherever it is I came from. It's a sick reality when the boy in the schoolyard tells me, Afra, maybe your grandparents should have never gotten married and then your parents wouldn't have met and then we wouldn't have to stare at your ugly face and try to figure out where you come from any longer. I'd say, my grandparents died of cancer. But they never acted like they were sick. The only disease I can see is the one staring back at me when you laugh at me because I'm not like you, say things that only mean kids on playgrounds do and sing songs of, you're so ugly, you're so fat, no one loves a monster like that. You don't have friends, but you think you do. If you died, We wouldn't miss you. Mock my parents and my heritage, but my parents taught me kindness, and your face is pretty. But your face is a waste of a perfectly good punch. You should consider yourself lucky because I never miss. Thank you. So the second poem I'm going to do is a poem, it's a little bit lighter. It's a poem called Numbers, and it's a response to a conversation that I had. So at one point in time, somebody told me that I shouldn't be a poet. And actually, it wasn't that they said I shouldn't be a poet, it's that they said I couldn't become a poet. And so I think that you should lead by example and summon all of your strengths and respond back, proving them wrong. So this is a poem called Numbers. I've never been good with numbers, or names, or remembering where I parked. I won't be able to match your face to your name, but I can tell you exactly what I was thinking about eating when we met. You were a cheeseburger and I was a salad, but who am I kidding? I don't like salads. They say there is no equation for the number of times you will try and fail. Failure is the product of effort and imagination divided by the number of setbacks. I am not good with numbers. You said I was your 7. I was your perfect prime number, not divisible, undeniable. You said 7. It was 7 times I would look for you before I realized you weren't coming back. 9 times I repeated the song you played me when you strummed your guitar. You played me. 4 years since the last time I looked in the mirror and saw who I thought I knew. 5 is the number of years I spent in college. 11 is the number of guys who graduated because of me, who would never know or see a college degree without help from me. It was the 2nd of August, 2013. 2 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 3 is 16. The year I learned that friendship sinks and not every hand held out is a hand worth holding. Last time I held a hand, she was in a hospital room getting ready to die. Death doesn't scare me. Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty still scares me. I can't get over it. Believe me, I tried to play by the rules, but that's a lie. Lies go full circle like pupils dilating on an old telephone. 05054. I still remember your phone number, but I never let it in, so I settled for a dial tone. 12 is how old I was the time I ever felt not beautiful because he said I was. 21 is 12 backwards, the year I learned that my thinking was backwards. Words cut stranger shapes from strangers' words. Letters A is D's. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Ruby, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Each number bears a significance that we cannot see until we experience. That instant when we realize who we are and why we are them. I remember you said I could never be a poet because I could never even put 100 words together, and you're right. I can't give you 100 words. Instead, I'll give you 255. Here's 200 just because, and 55 for good measure. For every time you said my words wouldn't take me anywhere. Hand in hand, holding, folding, touting, telling truth, no use, lies, it's fine, this time lies don't fly, sky high, you and me, you and I not seeing eye to eye, we never walk together, drifting apart as my art, words are my brush, hush, don't say a word. A picture's worth 1,000 words unheard, absurd, I remember rains as planes, the trains of our thoughts, so we bought a penny for your thoughts, a penny for the many times we replayed that December before the last September when we splint, stash, live outside the box, unlock, stop and stop. I remember you said I could never be a poet because I could never even put 100 words together, but I've never been good with numbers. Sad. Thank you. I'm still not good with numbers, by the way. Yeah, they tell you you'll get better at math and that you use it all the time, and that just hasn't happened. So the last poem I want to do is a poem that I love so much. It was written for the Louvre, Abu Dhabi, and when I started working on this project, I thought, this is a platform, what do I want to say? And I thought, what am I going to say that's going to be memorable and going to be interesting and going to be true to who I am? And I deliberated for a while, but I decided to make the poem a letter to myself. And it's everything that I want to leave all of the wonderful poets here with, and it's everything that I want to leave all of you here with. So consider this a poem for everyone here. It's a poem called Cher Moi, which is French for Dear Me. I knew that I wanted to introduce this poem in French, so actually for the The actual event, I took an intensive French class because I wanted to mix different languages, and I think it's such a beautiful thing to do. So yes, without further ado, this is Cher Moi. Ready? You guys, it's the last poem of the night. Are you ready? Okay. Bismillah. When they tell you that you talk funny, that your words fall on deaf ears like trees in a forest that no one hears, do not try to make yourself smaller just so they can feel bigger. Even though your accent sits on fault lines between languages you're not sure how to use yet, and your Arabi takes you twice as long to form sentences. You use ism instead of fi'l with incorrect quantifications and genders. You'll spend years trying to pronounce your own name in a language that feels like yours, with handwriting that feels like yours, Cher Moi. Know that misshapen letters and messy words never stopped anyone from weaving them into stanzas. No, there is beauty in contrast and bold lines in skies of bright blue and burnt orange painted as if from memory. Your spelling gets better, but your handwriting still looks like it did in the 4th grade when you spent hours making sure your letter S was exactly symmetrical like the Japanese origami cranes your mother learned how to fold. Cher Moi, I wish I could send you postcards from where we end up that say, wish you were here. Breathe. You're right where you need to be. It all works out in the end to make up for all the times you didn't have any friends, when you would have given anything to be anyone other than who you are, be anywhere other than here, be anything other than the last piece of the puzzle that never fully makes it home. Cher Moi, go home. Go to where your voice sings the loudest, regardless of whether it knows all the right words. Go where it is met with a set of sailboat lungs and broad shoulders that carry the weight of the world. Cher Moi, sometimes they will mistake your kindness for the welcome mat in the doorway. Do not let their gravity ground the songbird singing in your chest or change the beat of your marching band heart. Your is not a curtain of weakness to hide behind because you think they'll like you more if you're quiet and compliant. Be the bold brushstrokes over the canvas. Be the cranes flying over the landscape normally painted in monotone. Cher Moi, you were never meant for backstage, no matter how much you try to tell yourself otherwise. Cher Moi, be thankful. Be thankful for those who love you, those who you love, and those who you love who do not love you back. Cher Moi, you built a spine out of marble and a rib cage out of sawdust from dreams, but you're scared of your voice, scared of being heard. I promise you will grow into your words the same way a hurricane rips through its surroundings, fast, unforeseen, without warning. And no matter what you do, you are never fully prepared for its magnitude. Cher Moi, tes mots deviendront ta raison d'être. Tout comme l'été qui a été changé en automne, sous le ciel tout changera, comme les saisons, comme le vent. Cher Moi, your eyes are Sirocco's. Your mother says her mother's eyes live in yours. They are lined with 1,000 constellations and origami cranes flying through the night sky. Cher Moi, I know you do not think much about poetry or words or yourself. One day, years from now, a girl in 9th grade will tell you that she is laughed at for her words. She will ask you how you knew you were a poet, and you will tell her what I am telling you now. You will tell her, قد يكونون القافية والكلمات والوزن والبحر، لكن القصيدة تبقى للشاعرة وأنا وقصيدتي لا نخشى الغرق. Like a postcard from where we end up that says, wish you were here. Breathe. It all works out in the end. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Shukran Saidati wa Sadati. I know it's been difficult with noises through the tannoy and people running around and so on. But our performers have been magnificent. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you in reverse order to our extraordinary performers. Afra Atiq, Dr. Talal Al-Junaibi, Frank Dullahan, Zaina Hashem Beck, and Mr. Ben Okri OBE. Thank you to you, thank you to them. They will be here to my right-hand side signing and selling books in a couple of minutes' time. Do feel free. No, I'm sorry. They'll be signing and selling books right here, right now. Come and join us. Thank you.